Hiya!
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl,
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
and we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 16th of May, 2019, and this is episode 345. 345. We are
6, 7, 8.
we are sequential, right? Is that the right word? Sequential?
Yes, sure.
Okay. We're sequential today. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hi to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Danny, we have no new introductions in our Ravelry group this week, so why don't you tell people what they should do and why while I try to fix this stitch that I dropped.
You should join our group on Ravelry. Just hit that join this group button at the top right of the group page and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, and you will be given a shout out on our next episode, and you'll be able to participate in all our owls and giveaways.
That is correct. Well, we have quite a few things to talk about today. Our yummies just kept growing and growing and outgrowing. I just stabbed myself with my needle. That hurt. So we should probably get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what is on our needles.
Dammy, what is on your needles?
I haven't had time to knit. Instead, I made a costume mood board.
Okay, tell us about this because it's actually really cool.
It is for a class, theatrical design, and we had to pick either Twelfth Night or Hamlet and choose 3 characters from one of them and make a mood board for like general aesthetic of the show and costume inspiration.
So did you have to do it like in the time it was originally written, or could you like make it be like a modern day take on da-da-da?
No, we could do it whatever we wanted. We had some that I really liked of people doing Twelfth Night, but drag inspired, and Twelfth Night in the 80s.
Cool. So what?
And
did
also
you...
Twelfth Night in extreme cyberpunk. I really liked all the Twelfth Night ones. I started kind of tuning out Hamlet because everyone knows Hamlet so well.
So what did you do?
I did Hamlet, and I did the youngins, Hamlet, Ophelia, and Horatio. And here's a photo where you can see my board.
And what kind of inspiration did you do?
I did, like university setting, mid to late 2010s. But we had to have something that like sort of semi-tied all the characters that we'd chosen to get together. So I chose little small tattoos that I thought they each might have and put my reasoning behind it on the board. So.
Cool. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I'm excited for you to come home and be able to knit again. Which you're coming home in 3 weeks. Which means finals are in 2 weeks.
I know.
Do you have any more projects like that for that class?
Yeah.
What do you have to do still?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Dammy just sent me a picture of her board. And it's really awesome. I
wouldn't forget.
Very awesome. Okay, do you have anything else you would like to talk about?
No, so what's on your needles?
Well, Dammy, it is that time of year known as Stash Dash hiatus season because I start putting all my projects into Stash Dash hiatus so that they count for Stash Dash. But first, let me talk about my zigzag blanket. This is the 10-stitch zigzag blanket by Frankie Brown. I'm on US 4's 3.5 millimeters and needles. Finished 68 stripes, which is 97% done, and my 69th stripe is Pandia's Jewels hand-dyed yarn snug in the Time Traveler colorway. I did not get in my zigzag and a half every day this week, just had just some life things and just didn't happen. But I did get in some on it. I think I may have finished like maybe the 6th zigzag out of 20. So, but I'm still on track to finish during Stash Dash, which was my goal for this year, was to finish it. So Stash Dash is, in case you don't know, is an along hosted by the Knit Girls podcast, and it's to encourage you to finish things. And if you finish a project during the dates, which are for this year, May 24th through August 24th, you can count the entire meterage of the project. So for my zigzag blanket, when I finish it, I'm going to be able to count like 10,000 meters, because that's about probably how much it's going to end up being. So it starts a week from tomorrow, a week from today, if you're watching this when it goes live. So I'm out of town this weekend at a retreat. So I won't be taking it with me, obviously, because it's massive. But I'm at that point now where, you know, I have, I don't know, 34 zigzags to go. And so there's not going to be any issue at all finishing it during Stash Dash. The second thing I'm knitting on are birthday socks for my bestie's husband, Jeremy. He has a birthday in May, just like the Dr. Hubs, different dates, but also in May. These are my French vanilla cappuccino sock pattern that you can get on Ravelry. I'm on US 1.5, 2.5 needles, using my Zoom Zoom needles, which are the 9-inch Haya circulars that I have affectionately named Zoom Zoom needles because you zoom zoom around in circles. The yarn I'm using is Abstract Fiber Super Sock, that's this one, in the Summit colorway, and Malabrigo yarn sock in the Fresco y Seco colorway. So what I did was I had knit the toe, and then I took these to Avengers Endgame with us, and I ended up knitting, gosh, probably about that much of the foot. And then I knit on it a little more in a meeting this week and such, and I took it last night to knit night, and I'm on the heel right now. I didn't know if I was going to have enough because Jeremy's got rather large feet, as you can kind of tell. I didn't know if I was going to have enough of this, and so just to be safe, I'm doing toes, heels, cuffs in the Malabrigo green. But I really like how they're turning out, and I will finish these during Stash Dash, hopefully in the very early days of Stash Dash, because his birthday is like a week after Stash Dash starts. So I want to get them done and in the post to him over in the UK. So there's that. I know I talked about this on the podcast about my whole drama about I bought yarn especially for a certain top, and then it did not work out with the gauge and all that. And so I ended up picking a different top. Let me see if I have a picture of it or if I didn't print it. I may not have printed it. I may have printed just a few. Hold on, I've got the pattern on my phone. I can show y'all that way just so you can kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. This is the summer top by Ankestrict, and it has, let me see, oh, I can show you that on my pattern that I printed. It has a really pretty detail around the collar and around the sleeves. So I cast this on using the needles are US 3 3.25 mil and US 4 3.5 mil, and I'm using this yarn right here, which is Plymouth Yarn Linaza hand dyed in the number 4 mauve pink orange colorway. Do you see the? So I'm trying to get all the short rows done before I leave for my trip tomorrow, so that I can knit on this during the retreat. And I am like in the middle of short rows, so it's going to be not very easy for you to see, but here's what the fabric is looking like. So obviously I'll wear a tank under it, Or if I want to wear it in the autumn or winter, I can wear a long sleeve under it. So I am pretty close to being done with the short rows. Yeah, so hopefully I can get those finished tonight, and that way I am good to go on knitting on it this weekend during the retreat. Okay, and then the last three things I have on the needles, two of them I'm already putting into Stash Dash hiatus, and one I'm working on to get it to that point. These are all a gift for my friend Sophie's baby Arwen. All three of these projects use Brene Softy Baby Ombres and Prints in the baby colorway. So first up is the Baby Sophisticate Sweater by Linden Down. It's on US 8's 5mm needles. And I think I showed y'all this last week. So I'm done with the body. I did the sleeves. I've picked up for the button band and knit most of it. And so I just need to finish knitting the button band and then bind off and sew on the buttons and soak and block it, and I'll be done with that one. So that's the first thing for Arwen. Trying to make it where I don't like jab myself with a needle. The second thing is a barley hat by Tin Can Knits, which is on US 4's 3.5mm needles and US 6's 4mm needles, which it's not what the pattern calls for, but I'm using a different weight of yarn, and so I'm making I believe it's the toddler size because I'm using a lighter weight of yarn, so it should fit her pretty well. So here it is. And I've just got like a few more rows to do, and I'll be ready to bind that off. And I've already made the cute little pom-pom to go on top. So that's the second one. And then the final one I'm still in progress on. This is the Baby Chino Socks by somebody named Dami Allman of Java Pearl Designs. I don't know who that could be, but so I'm doing these on US 3's 3.25mm needles. So I've just done the toe and I'm working on the foot, but let's see. It looks like I am about halfway through the foot, because obviously these are baby socks on a heavier weight of yarn, so they'll knit up fairly quickly. So those are the three things that I'm doing for Arwen. So those will be very easy to finish when Stash Dash starts. Hopefully I'll have the Baby Chino Socks to that place too, where one is finished and then the other one I'll just be working on the cuff and be ready to finish binding that off and everything so that I can gift those to baby Sophie, to baby Arwen, Sophie's baby. And the reason I'm making the size I am is so that it will work for her this autumn and winter. So there you go. And that is everything that is currently on my needles. I know it's a lot, y'all. Normally I only have like 3 or 4 things, but you know, Stash Dash hiatus season, this is just what I do. All right, well, I did finish one thing. So let's move on to the next segment and I'll tell you about it.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
I just have one this week. This is my 19th preemie hat for the year. I'm using my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on Ravelry. It's on US 6's 4mm needles, and I used Karen Simply Soft in the gray heather colorway, and Lion Brand Vanna's Choice in the dusty purple colorway. And I love how different it makes it just doing the bind off in the other color. That shows it to you a little bit better. So I'm still knitting hats for Click for Babies. So there's a link in the show notes if you want to know more about that, but the hat has to be at least 50% purple. So I'm working through my purple yarn. And when I run out, that'll be the end of the hats for them. And then I'll go back to knitting just smaller preemie hats to donate. So that's everything that I have finished this week. So let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, yummies. What are yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things, things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. And now, since all of the My Favorite Murder mystery wrap kits have been delivered, I tracked every one of them. They've all been delivered. I can now show you what was in the My Favorite Murder mystery wrap kit. So first up, from Suburban Stitcher, Diane, she used her sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 460 yards, and you needed 3 skeins of it for the wrap. And this is the Triflers Need Not Apply colorway, which is a quote from the My Favorite Murder podcast. So I was really happy with what Diane came up with, because I didn't really want like blood red, but this still says murder to me. And as is with indie dyed yarn, it varies from skein to skein. Diane kindly packaged up 3 coordinating skeins so that I didn't have to do that. So yours may be a lighter, yours might be darker, yours might be close to this, but that's just the way indie dyed yarn is. But this was the original inspiration for me to design the wrap pattern. There is a kitty at my feet. Hello, kitty. You went the wrong way. I can't pet you. Oh, she ran away. And then, so everybody who got kits got 3 skeins of yarn. And then the amazing Anne of Ann Tudor LLC, she has created so many different glass stitch markers for projects that we have done, and each time she just hits it out of the park. This time, I think this may be my all-time favorite that she has done. So in case you are not a listener of the My Favorite Murder podcast, which is a true crime comedy podcast hosted by Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark, and it's not safe for children because there's lots and lots of language and murder. So Georgia has a cat named Elvis. Elvis is a Siamese cat, and he is quite adorable. And at the end of the episode, they go, Elvis, want a cookie? And he goes, "Mah." And it's adorably cute. And so when I asked Anne to do a stitch marker for the kit, I was like, I really don't want a weapon because obviously murder, whatever. I was like, what? So we were like brainstorming. And so she did. Elvis wants a cookie, and the cookie has a bite taken out of it. Can you see that? So Elvis, the Siamese cat, and the cookie. I love that she uses these kind of, what do you call that?
Lobster clasps?
Yeah, but I was like trying to think of like the more general, like fixings. I don't know. Anyway, I love these because you can use them as a regular stitch marker. You can use them as a progress keeper. You can use them on crochet projects, or you can wear them as earrings, which is something that I might do. I totally should have done that today. I was like, what earrings am I going to wear with my shirt that I'm about to show you? And I went with the faux gauge things. But now I may have to wear Elvis and a cookie with my shirt. So Anne knocked that out of the park. I am so in love with Elvis and his cookie. So everyone that ordered a kit got a set as well. Everybody who ordered a kit got the coupon code to get the My Favorite Murder mystery wrap pattern from me, which is available on Ravelry. There's a link in the show notes. And the first clue will come out a week from this Saturday the 25th of May. And there are 5 clues. So if you purchase the pattern now, you're going to get a 1-page PDF that talks to you about what kind of yarn you need, needles you need, information about like what technique of yarn you need, like solid, semi-solid, tonal, lightly variegated, not self-striping, not highly variegated. There's the schedule of when the clues will come out, and there's information on Gauge. I think that's everything that's in that PDF. So if you purchase it now, you'll get that PDF, and then on Saturday the 25th, I'll upload the first clue, and that will go out to you. And then there was the option to get a t-shirt by my friend Amanda from Nerdy Knits and Designs. She's on Facebook. I'll put a link to everybody in the show notes. So Amanda and I went to college together, and she started a shirt design business a bit back. And so I asked her, she's a Murderino as well. So I asked her if she would be interested in doing a shirt for the kids. And so she was, and so she did. We had originally discussed a different shirt, which I loved. And then she messaged me and she said, I just came up with this. What do you think? And I was like, yes, that's what it needs to be. So if you are not familiar with the My Favorite Murder podcast, listeners of the My Favorite Murder podcast are called Murderinos. Knitters who are fans of the My Favorite Murder podcast are called Knitterinos. But Murderino is what inspired this shirt. I'm going to have to stand up so you can see it all. It's dictionary definition, Murderino, noun. A true crime enthusiast who, 1, stays sexy, 2, does not get murdered. Because the tagline for the My Favorite Murder podcast is SSDGM, stay sexy and don't get murdered. I'm in love. I love it. Today's the first day I've worn it, and I've been so excited. I've been like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to wear my shirt. So I'm in love with it. Diane and Anne and Amanda I cannot even express how thrilled I have been to work with them and to see their inspiration and what they came up with. And I'm just in love, and I'm so grateful that I got to work with them. So there you go. That's what was in the kits. The more you know. So, okay, Dammy. I'm done talking about that now. I'm not done talking about it. Just FYI, the mystery wrap, it's going to be done in 2 pieces concurrently. Both pieces will be identical, and then you 3-needle bind off on the wrong side to graft them together. And depending on how aggressively you block, it's about 6 feet long, which is rather long. So there you go, just so if you wanted to know that information. All right, Dammy, you got a parcel in the post this week. You want to tell us about it? Although I have some of the stuff here because she didn't take all of it back to school with her because she's coming home in 3 weeks.
I got a package. I forgot to message the person who sent it to me to say thank you. I'll do that as soon as we do a break because I'm dumb. So this is from Les.
Stop. You are not allowed to call yourself dumb. You are not dumb. You just forgot. Go ahead.
Let me have my self-deprecating humor.
No. Go ahead.
This is from Leslie, who is I Love Lux on Ravelry, and she sent me stuff from the hit musical Hadestown, most Tony-nominated show of the year. There's a playbill, and it's from opening week, which means it says opening night on the inside, and I love it. There's this shirt that I love, and I've been wearing it.
Okay, could you read it? Because it's hard to read on the camera.
Oh, yeah. It says Lady of the Underground.
What does it say on the back?
It's just the logo.
Oh, the logo. And it's hard to see on the camera, but it's like got these flecks of color in it. I found the opening night page. Patrick Page. Love him. There's also all these other awesome people and lots more. But I adore Patrick Page. You also got, I know you're rolling your eyes at me.
A magnet. And a keychain.
It says way down Hadestown, way down under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That was very sweet of her to send you this stuff.
Yes, and I will send her a thank you message as soon as we go on our break.
Which means she'll have already received it by the time she watches this episode. So thank you, Leslie. That was very sweet of you. We got this month's knit crate in the post. Keeping the yarn. I'm in love with it. Let me show you what the inspiration for the yarn was. It was the farmer's market. This gorgeousness is the yarn. So this is Knitology by Knit Crate. It's their cozy sock base in the Citrus Squeeze colorway. And it is 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 10% cashmere, fingering weight, 100 grams, 400 meters, 439 yards. And it is so squishy. And it combines my two favorite colors, pink and orange. And it's not like a super bright orange, which is not my preferred. I like a more, autumnal orange, but this orange, even though it's more muted, so it still works for summer, but it combines. So we got that. We got, what else did we get in here? We got a Exchanging Fire stitch marker. We got a Dress It Up So Cute Ladybug buttons. I wonder, Dammy, how these would look on Arwen's sweater, if they're the right size. They could be really cute on her sweater. We'll see. And then we, of course, get the little magazine booklet. So let's see here. There are 4 patterns, actually. These are the Squeezed Citrus Socks by Sarah Jordan. They're knit cuff down. Good girl. Her's using her scratch and post. She'll come be on the show after a while. Great charts are in it. There is a crochet sock pattern called Magic Socks by Lilia Vanini, which makes the yarn from the box look just a little bit different, which is cool. There is also these ankle length socks, not done in this colorway, but it would be pretty. Dancing Butterfly by Cynthia Levy, which are knit cuff down. And there's a bonus one. Wait, did it say it here? Oh, there it is. This one. Just cowl. That is designed by, hold on, also by Sarah Jordan, who designed the knit socks. And then there's a pop-up shop. And next month's theme is, oh, this is going to be beautiful, calico. They're just speaking my love language, Jamie. What were you saying?
It's a kitty.
Kitty.
As in calico cats.
Oh, I thought you were asking where your kitty was.
Where is my kitty?
She is currently sniffing the coffee table.
Good.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure why, but she is. Hi, baby. Hi, honey. You can be on the podcast after a while, okay? Knit Crate graciously gifts us a box every month because they love us, and they love y'all too. And they give you a coupon code, all capital letters, Geeky20, Geeky, the numbers 20, to get 20% off your first order. It will work to discount the first month of a recurring monthly subscription or on any of their shop items. And there is a link in the show notes with the details. So thank you so much to Knit Crate. And then, the knitting community is just lovely. And the lovely ladies behind Tin Can Knits released 4 patterns this past week. And it was so much fun to follow them on social media as they were in Paris shooting photographs and everything. It was amazing. So they generously gift us the patterns every time they release patterns, and we like to share them with y'all. So this is Love Note. Beautiful sweater. I especially dig that one right there, that color. So let me tell you about it. It is a fingering weight sweater done on US 7s, 4.5 mil needles, and US 10s, 6 mil needles, taking anywhere from 200 to 1,250 yards of yarn, because it goes from 0 to 6 months to 4XL, because they are amazing and they always do baby to big sizes. This pattern is knit from the top down, and it uses a combination of a mohair lace and a single ply merino held together, and it's just lovely. The second pattern is the Posy shawl, and it is also knit with fingering weight yarn on US 9s, 5.5 mil, and US 6s, 4 mil, using between 650 to 900 yards of yarn. There is a heavyweight version and a lightweight version. So for the heavy version, you use a fingering weight and a lace weight mohair silk held together, although you could substitute it with a DK weight yarn. The lightweight is made with a lace or fingering weight yarn, and it's just beautiful. It's lovely. Okay, here is a closer up picture of the lace, which is really pretty. And then it looks like there's garter ridges. Very, very nice. And then there is the penny sweater. So there is this beautiful detail down the sleeve. But it's blowing it out. There we go. And let's see, there you can see a little more detail as well as there on the sleeve. So this is a DK weight pullover knit using US 4, 3.5 mil, and US 6, 4 mil needles, using between 270 and 2,000 yards of yarn, because it goes from 0 to 6 months all the way to 4XL. And it is a classic V-neck with a lovely, lovely lace. And if you like the lace pattern of the penny, but you don't want to knit a pullover, you can knit the penny hat that has the same lace pattern. And oh, there you go. That was a really beautiful picture of that. But then look at the top of this hat, Dammy. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. So it is done with a sport weight yarn on US 2, 2.75 mil, and US 1, 2.25 mil needles, using 100 to 200 yards of yarn. It goes from baby to adult large. And yeah, it's just beautiful. So until the end of May, you can get 25% off the bundle of the 4 patterns. So what you have to do is you need to put Love Note, Posy, Penny, and the penny hat in your cart, and the discount of 25% off, which is $7 off, will automatically be applied. So thank you again to the lovely ladies of Tin Can Knits for sending us the patterns, and I am seriously considering knitting something from that. So there you go. And finally, I actually texted my mama last night, Dammy's B-Mom, and I was like, Mama, thank you for my Mother's Day present. And she was like, what? And I texted her a picture, and she's like, what is it? And I told her, and I was like, thank you. They sent me a check, and I purchased my own Mother's Day present. So this is from I Love Handles, which you have heard me talk about before. They are out of Oregon, and I purchased the pink wrist ruler. I already had the gray, so I purchased the pink. I got the 17-inch length although they have lots of other lengths. So I just have them kind of intertwisted around each other. They are accurate. You can use them to measure things, and I do. So I just kind of interwove them around each other to wear them like this, but also was suggested at knit night last night, because I wore it to knit night, to join the two together and then do a fun. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed. There we go. To do like it all connected like that. So if you are interested in a wrist ruler from I Love Handles, you can go to their website, ilovehandles.com. Why are they called I Love Handles? I don't know, but they are, and I love it. Okay, Dammy, do you have anything else other than our normal stuff for Yummies?
Nope.
Let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month. So what you do is you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. And May's theme is shapes, emotions, and other stuff. And let's see, we won't release June's list before next week's podcast. It'll be the week after. We'll have June's list for you. So what are we about to show them, Dammy?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Those were our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. It's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. For example, today, the day we're recording it, the prompt is the number 16, and you interpret that however you wish. So you can literally do something that's 16. You can do it the way that I typically do it when it's a number. Today's the 16th, and da-da-da. So, yeah. And then you take the picture, you post it on Instagram. Make sure in the captions you use hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. In addition, you can use one of the 3 new, well, not all of them are new, other affiliated hashtags, hashtag GGK Kitty Pad, hashtag GGK Puggy Pad, hashtag GGK Puppy Pad. And yours might get chosen. If you have a private account on Instagram and you're participating in GGK Crafty Pad, you need to make sure that Dammy, who is Dammy's Doodles on Instagram, is following you, because otherwise we cannot see your photos. So send her a message and she'll follow you, and you'll be good to go. Dammy, I don't have any upcoming events knitting-wise that are coming very soon. The autumn yarn crawl, Pacific Northwest yarn crawl, is the first weekend of October, which is my birthday weekend. I'm going to a one-day knitting retreat later this year. But we have some time before those. Do you have any upcoming events, Dammy?
If you want to come see the last show of the year at SPU Theater, Violet, it's our backstage musical. Go to spu.edu/box office and get tickets. It's next week.
Can you explain?
Yeah, it's next week.
Can you explain what you mean by backstage show?
It means we're not on the main stage. We're in our backstage section, which is large enough for us to do a smaller production.
So are there seats, or is it like a standing room thing?
We have risers.
Oh, okay. Cool. I did not know, which is why I asked. All right, well, we have some other stuff to talk about, so we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Dammy?
Kind of finishing up Dracula, but then I got a paperback copy of Les Mis that I want to start, but I had to reread Hamlet for my costume project, so that took a while.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
And I'm also reading The Glass Scientists, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo.
That's right. I know, Dammy, that you are getting your 15 minutes in a day.
Yes.
What am I referring to?
The April, May, June RAL read along.
Which is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. There is a April, May, June finish line in our Ravelry group where you post once and then edit your post. We're also doing a year-long challenge which you earn entries into the giveaway for 3 grand prizes that'll be awarded at the beginning of 2020 by participating in the seasonal read-alongs. And there's also a couple of ways to earn bonus entries. So details in the show notes and on Ravelry. What I am reading, I'm still reading The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron and Susan Stabile. I'm reading about type 6 of the Enneagram right now, but I'm not done with it. So I'm also continuing to read Pilgrimage of a Soul, Contemplative Spirituality for the Active Life by Felina Hertz. And Dammy, I felt, goodness gracious, my voice just decided to go. I felt really silly that I did not recognize this connection before. Philena's husband, Chris, is the Chris Hertz that wrote the Sacred Enneagram book. And I did not realize that until yesterday or the day before. So anyway, I'm enjoying it so much that I actually bought a copy because the library got it for me on an interlibrary loan from Illinois, Dammy. Illinois. That's kind of far from here. But I'm having to read it faster than I want to read it and not being able to she's got like journaling questions at the end of each chapter that I really want to go through. So I actually bought a copy. So I'm waiting for it to get here. I also started reading Outer Order, Inner Calm by Gretchen Rubin. This book it feels different from her other books because she wrote like The Happiness Project and The Four Tendencies and some other stuff. This feels like more one that you can read it straight through like what I'm doing, but it also feels like one you could pick up, flip it to it, open to almost any page and just read the little whatever. And it's talking about, I read the intro and the first chapter last night, and it's talking about creating order to your outer world, it will bring calm to your inner world. So I'm reading that one. I'm continuing to reread the 4th book of the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm rereading that along with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. And I was proactive and helped myself this week by writing down in the show notes, actually typing, that this week's chapter was the unexpected task, where they had to ask people to go with them to the ball and the hijinks that occurred while Harry and Ron tried to find a date. So, and then I finished reading the 2nd book of the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater called The Dream Thieves. I did not enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed the first one. I don't know if I'll continue the series because I really didn't enjoy the 2nd book. But I read book 2 of her The Wolves of Mercy Falls series called Linger, and I did enjoy it. And actually, I think I got the third one from the library. Yes, I got the third one on the Libby app so that I can read it on my phone when I go away this weekend. So I decided to make sure I had some books on my phone so that I could not have to take a bunch of books with me. So that was good. And then I finished also last night the second book in the Vampire Knitting Club series by Nancy Warren called Stitches and Witches. And it's a very fun series. Cozy mystery with supernatural thrown in. All right, Gammy, we watched some stuff this week. And so do we need to give spoiler alert to the world?
The
first thing?
The official spoiler embargo has been lifted, but still spoilers, I don't think they ever die, because there's still always people who haven't seen it and then they get mad about it.
So you've already seen our spoiler warning on the screen, but here we are also giving you another spoiler warning that we are about to talk about Avengers Endgame. And if you have not seen it and don't want to be spoiled, you need to fast forward. Okay? All right, Gammy. You came home this weekend. That was a yummy that we didn't put in there because we knew we'd be talking about Avengers Endgame. You came home for the weekend because the Dr. Hub's birthday was last week. And so our tradition, we don't go to the cinema very often, maybe twice a year, but our tradition for one of those times is to take the Hubs out for a meal and then to see a movie for his birthday. So we ate yummy food. You and I both had breakfast, right? Yes. And he had no, you didn't have breakfast. Yes, you did.
I had a steak.
You had a chicken fried steak with breakfast stuff, though.
Yeah.
And he had a big chicken fried steak, and I had cinnamon roll French toast. And it was good. And then we went and saw Avengers Endgame. So, Dammy, do you want to start talking about it?
It was long.
It was very long.
I don't know. I'm not as into Marvel as I used to be.
Yep.
But I thought it was good-esque in the general direction of good.
I would have very much appreciated it if they had done an intermission. And Saturday was a very warm day for us here in the Pacific Northwest. And the theater was very, very crowded and very, very warm. And the combination of the darkness, the loudness, and the heat, Danny had to nudge me a few times.
More than a few.
Also combined with the fact that we go to a cinema that has recliners. So those combinations of things. So I want to rewatch it when it comes out to watch at home. But I thought it was good. Again, I'm not as big a Marvel fan as the Dr. Hubs is, but I thought it was good. I cried a lot towards the ending parts. I felt like it brought a good close to this story arc.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of really good cameos. Even some that I missed, and then I happened to see an article that was like, the cameos that you might have missed. There was a list of them. And so I had seen some of them, but I hadn't seen all of them. So overall, I would say go watch it. What would you say, Dammy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just be prepared that it's over 3 hours long. So choose your drinks wisely. Okay. I also watched some Hallmark movies. I watched the Haley Dean Mysteries. They're doing a 3-movie arc, and I watched the first one, Death on Duty, and the second one, A Prescription for Murder. I also watched A Feeling of Home. So I have been binging the heck out of Saving Hope. I finished seasons 1 and 2, and I'm into season 3 now. So, and I was totally totally wrong on last week's podcast episode. I feel like I need to do a corrections corner meow meow like My Favorite Murder does. Michael Shank's character woke up at the end of season 1, not the end of the series. Which I'm kind of glad, because I was like, how are they going to prolong this with this guy in a coma for 5 seasons? So, yeah. So I was very happy that he came out of the coma. So, but now she's in a coma.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm binging that. Again, as I was talking about last week, we're coming to the end of a bunch of shows, like their full finale, but also coming to the end of season finales. So still watching NCIS LA, NCIS New Orleans, The Flash, Big Bang Theory, Blacklist, Dammy, season 6 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started. Do you want to say anything?
I forgot most of what happened.
Well,
besides, gritty. It's gritty. It's gritty. Everything's gritty.
The pod was empty.
Yeah.
Simmons wants to continue to search for Fitz.
Understandable.
And, yes, I would still continue to search. And Coulson is bad now? Question mark? Question mark, question mark? So is he like a clone? Is he from another world? I don't know. What are we doing with this? So, I guess we shall see. Training Spaces, Supergirl, When Calls the Heart, and then the Arrow season 7 finale was this past week. I didn't write any notes down, but I can just tell you that I cried through probably the last 25 minutes of the episode, because it was the final episode with what's her name that plays Felicity? I want to say it's like Emily something, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it was her final episode, although so next season is the final season for Arrow, and I have a feeling they're going to bring her back for at least one episode. But it was her choice to leave. But the way they wrapped it up, I just sobbed. I was just sobbing. I couldn't even knit. I was sobbing so hard. Because you could tell that because of the storyline, obviously she was leaving, but also you could tell the emotion that the other characters were having was not just because the character was leaving as written in the script, but because the actress was leaving, and you could just see the emotion, and it was just real and raw and just, yeah. Oh my goodness. It was probably one of the best episodes they've had in recent years. It was so good. So, yep. Listening to My Favorite Murder podcast, as always. The Murder Squad. I didn't put this in here, but I've also been listening to the Teacher's Pet podcast, which is out of Australia. And it's just one case, and it is about a woman who went missing about 30 years ago, and the coroners, there's been no body was ever found. There's been 2 coroner's inquests that both ruled that the husband killed her, but he is like a big name former like rugby player, and he just was never charged. Now, I know, because I'm like going back and listening to the episodes after some stuff has happened, I know that, I don't know the details, but he was apparently arrested and is either going to trial or is a trial. I don't think it's finished. But yeah. So I'm getting close to the end of it. I was listening to the episode earlier, that was done mid-August of last year, and they had said, it's 36 years ago is when it happened. They're saying in this episode, it's a really long one, but they're saying, we feel like we've done everything we can do right now, and now it's in the hands of the law. And then there's an episode. The next episode comes at the end of November, and talks about what has happened. And then there is an episode in December about the arrest, and then there's an episode in April, a short one. So apparently the murder trial is going to be heard sometime in 2020. So
okay,
yeah, it's very, very interesting one. And then I was here. This is how random my life things interact. I haven't even told Dammy this. So I love the Lady Falcon Travelers notebook covers, and I've shown y'all that I got one that is pink with the 100 Acre Wood map on it. So I'm waiting for my River Song journal one to come, which is like the front of the TARDIS, but it's her notebook, and it's the spoilers thing. So that one's coming. But then yesterday, Monique, who is the brilliant artist behind the Lady Falcon Travelers, I'll put a link in the show notes to her site. I'm in her Facebook group, and she posts like different ones that she does that people order. And she posted a "Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered" one, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I commented how that it was amazing. And then we carried on the conversation, and then somebody else came into the conversation because I had said, I love it so much that I have designed a pattern of it, inspired by it and everything. And then somebody else came in and was telling me another podcast I should listen to. And then I recommended some that I've been listening to this other lady and all that stuff. And then Monique was asking if I would make sure to show the wrap once it was released and all that. Anyway, so I have a new one to start listening to once I finish binging Teacher's Pet. So, yeah, I'll let you know what I think about it once I start listening to it. So, Dammy, what about you? What are you listening to while I put this stuff in the show notes?
Cabin Pressure, name is, random playlists.
Okay, Dammy, I think that is everything for this segment. Then I think we should move on to the next one.
And now we're going to talk about our March, April, May Sheepy Spring Owl.
Bah.
So, this runs through the 1st of March through the 31st of May, and it is for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin you can convince us is related to spring. There are a couple rules for this owl. The first is that no whips are allowed, so your project has to have been begun no earlier than the 1st of March, then finished no later than the 31st of May. And the second is that each project of at least 20 yards that you finish and post in the FO thread counts as one entry into the owl. But if your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it into a single post with other projects that together total at least 20 yards. I see all the sheep. They're very nice.
Ba, 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 ba. Okay, go ahead.
You can feel free to poly dip in other alongs as long as it fits in with other rules. That's totally fine. We have lots of lovely prizes on the screen right now. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated a prize. If you would like to get closer looks at these prizes or see the shops where they came from, you can go to our show notes, geekygirlsknit.com, or you can tune into the first podcast of every month where we talk about them in detail. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry in order to participate. There's a hashtag if you would like to tag your projects or post on social media. Is GGK Spring 19. The FO thread is going to be locked on the morning of the 1st of June, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There is a chatter thread on Ravelry where you can post the progress of your projects and talk to each other, and it's where I give shout outs to people who finish projects within a week, but I also do that here. So,
go for it.
Elsa and M, Philippa MC, Jamie BB 1975, Joe Didia, Carlene Page, Knit Central, Nicole S, Phoenix Fire, Rish Strauss, Smash Williams 94, Cher 2014, Wombat Knitter, and Yell Cat 2.
Yay! Great job, everybody. So you have like 2 weeks to finish your projects and get them posted, and then you might be a winner. That also means that our June, July, August, summertime and the living is easy.
Ow!
is going to be starting in 2 weeks. So stay tuned for info about that. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
Or try to, at least. What is this week's question, Dammy?
This week's question is from Kristen, who is Kristen Saby. Do you have any knitting blogs you love to read?
Dammy, do you?
No.
Do you have any blogs that you read?
Not really.
I didn't think so. I mean, we used to be way into blogging. I mean, I blogged for years and years and years and years. And I feel like it's kind of transitioned from that as social media became more and more of a thing. But there are a few that I follow. The main one is the Yarn Harlot blog. I have followed her for years. She's written some really great books. Stephanie Pearl McPhee is her actual name, and she's based out of Canada. And she writes inspirational posts. She writes emotional posts. She's an amazing knitter, and so that one. I like to follow Tin Can Knits blog because they do a lot of like tutorial type stuff on there that directly correlates with their patterns. And so if I've ever come across a technique that I've not done before, their blog is like the first place I check to see if they have a tutorial, because I just really like their stuff. I also follow the Ravelry blog, and apparently, I haven't looked at it yet today, but I saw on social media a few minutes ago that that they just posted a Thursday tip introducing the Purchase Finder. So this is a new tool that Ravelry has just come out with for if you have a pattern or patterns that you know that you bought on Ravelry, but it's not in your Ravelry library, probably because you weren't logged into Ravelry when you bought it. They've just created this tool where you can find those patterns and link them to your account. But then also, so this is a post by the newest member of the Ravelry staff. Her name is Livia. And she, after explaining about the new Purchase Finder, she talks about how it came into being and what she did to be able to create it. So I'm really excited to read it. I haven't read it yet, but they do things like that. But they also do like Humans of Ravelry and I don't know, just all kinds of fun stuff on there. So the Ravelry blog. And then the other one that I follow is Pump Up Quarterly, their blog, which y'all know is our favorite knitting, etc. magazine. And of course, my favorite posts are when they give us the preview of that quarter's patterns, which actually just came out today for the summer issue. Did you see that I sent it to you, Dammy?
Yes.
Are you excited about some of the patterns?
Yes.
Me too. So when the magazine comes, we'll review it for y'all as always. But it's fun to get a sneak peek. So I'll link all of these in the show notes, but you can probably easily find them just by Googling the thing if you want to just do that. So yeah, so those are the 4 main knitting blogs that I still follow. I don't follow a lot of blogs anymore, but And, it used to be that people were like blogging every single day, which is what I did for a long time. So it's kind of really slowed down. But I check into my Feedly about once a day and just see if anything's been posted. So thank you, Kristen, for the question. I hope we answered it. Hope that helped. Hope that gave you some knitting blogs that maybe you didn't know about. I'm going to put in the episode thread on Ravelry for this week this question about, do you have any knitting blogs that you love to read? And we would love to hear about it. So head on over to our Ravelry group and check it out. Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
That's right. All right, on to the next segment. All right, Dammy, we made it to the end of the show. The show about,
Yay!
Which included things about murder, blogs, TV, crying in the movie theater, etc. And Stash Dash hiatus, because that's just how it goes. So, Dammy, do we have any announcements?
I don't think so.
We've got a few weeks still to go, but we need to see what time your last final is to kind of figure out when you're going to be coming home to see if we can record that day or if we're going to need to push it to Friday to record.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just a heads up, and you have quite some time until this happens, but for Dammy's autumn quarter, we will be moving our recording date to Friday instead of Thursday. So the episodes will go live on Saturday, not Friday. So just a heads up, we will remind you of that as it gets closer, but we are at the mercy of Dammy's school schedule as to when we can record. So, so just keep your eyes out for that. We will keep you informed. All right, Dammy. Well, then I guess we should say thank you to everyone who supports the podcast. You guys are amazing, but especially to those of you who support us financially, because unfortunately it does cost money to do a podcast. So to everyone who supports us financially, we give you a big love. There are three main ways that you can support the podcast financially. First is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount of money a week to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on it. I was trying to explain Patreon to someone the other day, and it was someone older than I am even, and I was like, it's like the PBS fundraising telethon things. And they were like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. So, yeah. So, Dammy, if somebody wants to know more about Patreon, what should they do?
Go to patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
That's right. What's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
And we are amazon.com, .co.uk, and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our website first, look in the sidebar for the appropriate image or link to your Amazon, or like at the bottom of our show notes, and then do your shopping, and we will earn a little bit back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. So, Dammy, why don't you tell everyone where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. Well, with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope that y'all are having as nice as spring weather as we are, although allergies are a real thing, including for Pink Pearl. Poor baby. She was sneezing this morning. So, but it's been nice to have the patio door open and just enjoy the nice spring air. So, happy crafting, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy weaving, happy spinning, happy embroidery, happy cross stitching, happy whatever kind of creative thing you are doing. Make it a happy week by spending some time doing something you love. We will talk to you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
found Pinky. Her was sweeping.
She's always sleeping.
Yeah, hi, Demi. Hey, Demi, I was sleeping. Mama, wake me up. She is giving you evil eyes. You want to talk to Demi? Or do you want to talk to the Geeky Girls Knit people? What do you think of them? Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say? Demi, have we talked about on the podcast that Pink Pearl is a thief?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah? Oh, bless you! Are you okay? You okay? Oh, I know. You want me to tell them that you're a thief? So, I have been icing my ankle foot at night because of an injury. And Pink Pearl keeps trying to steal my ice pack. I know you do, don't you? So when the Dr. Hubs brings it in, if I'm still like in the bathroom brushing my teeth, I'll come into the bedroom and she's laying on it. And it usually takes both of us to get her off because she likes the ice pack for some reason. So
Get her own ice packs.
I know, I think we're going to have to get her own ice pack. Do you want your own ice pack? Do you want your own ice pack? You do? Okay. Can you say goodbye? Say goodbye, I love you. Goodbye, I love you. Tammy's giving you kisses. Yeah? With that, I love you. Okay. Okay, bye-bye.